At the Minnesota State Fair, every spin of the wheel at the Never Walz booth is a loser for the Democratic governor.
I never want to see that man in office.
It's not just partisan wedge issues driving Republican disdain for Tim Walz. Step around the corner to the Minnesota Republican Party booth.
It's all about national politics at the booth.
Republican State Senator Mark Curran, like the rest of the country, is eyeing the presidential election, but with the Minnesota governor in his sights.
I think Governor Walz, if you want to talk about accountability, has taken no accountability.
Curran says while national voters may just be learning about Coach Walz and his affection for football and home improvement, here in Minnesota, the news has been more critical, especially around the way Walz's administration handled financial scandals. At least 16 reports critical of specific state agencies for allowing alleged fraud, waste, or mismanagement during Walz's 6 years as governor have been published by Minnesota's independent auditor.
He is the executive body in charge, right? And can you blame him individually for each individual thing? No, but he took absolutely no action to change the outcome. There was nobody that was terminated because of the failures of those agencies.
Lisa Damuth is a Republican minority leader in the Minnesota State Legislature.
We have an issue of fraud here in the state of Minnesota, that we have $500 million in known fraud under Governor Walz's time in office.
And you're talking about feeding our future.
That's one of them, yeah.
Feeding Our Future, a program overseen by Minnesota's Department of Education, was the single largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the nation, according to the Department of Justice. Nearly $250 million in federal tax dollars was supposed to go to feeding children in need. Instead, dozens of people involved in the scheme stole the money, buying houses, luxury cars, and a suburban bar and restaurant, according to a federal indictment. At the time, Governor Walz defended his administration.
We caught this fraud. We caught it very early. We alerted the right people.
This past June, the state legislative auditor's investigation found that the Minnesota Department of Education's actions and inactions created opportunities for fraud, failed to act on warning signs, and did not effectively exercise its authority to hold Feeding Our Future accountable.
Is that fraud the governor's fault?
When he is not holding any commissioners responsible, then yes, Governor Walz is responsible for the fraud that has been ongoing in the state of Minnesota. By not making any changes within his administration, then yes, it falls squarely on his shoulders.
National Republicans now sense a political vulnerability in the Democratic ticket. Earlier this month, a Republican-led House committee issued a subpoena demanding Walz produce documents on the Feeding Our Future fraud. It will be a test, carefully watched in Walz's home state. Blois Olson is a Minnesota political analyst who has covered nearly 3 decades of governors and moderated Walz's gubernatorial debate.
I know both of these gentlemen pretty well. There's been further audits that show that this isn't the only place in state government where there's fraud. Like, is he interested in the seriousness of running state government and being accountable? Or is he more interested in, being popular?
In his nearly 6 years as governor, Walz has gone from prairie populist
We're catching fish now.
to managing the pandemic
Contact tracing.
to now running for the second highest office in the U.S.
When we fight, we win.
Such a meteoric rise that Olson recently wrote, is Walz really ready?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
Ultimately, he's the decider as the governor of the state of Minnesota. And there's no clear evidence on how he makes his decisions, but there is a track record of not being decisive in the critical moments of governing.
But Walz's supporters at the state fair say it is unfair to hold him responsible for the fraud of others.
I certainly don't blame Governor Walz for it, nor do I think he has sat back and once it was exposed, let it continue.
Is it Governor Walz's fault? I don't think so. He's honest, he's real. Tim Walz has a heart.
A spokesperson for Governor Walz told CNN that state agencies have implemented suggestions by the auditor, and sometimes they disagree with the auditor's findings. That spokesperson added, quote, "We are constantly evaluating ways to eliminate fraud and improve government programs."